Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new video, and today I am doing my final preview and predictions, and that will be of Pool D. Yes, Pool D, which consists of Georgia, Fiji, Australia, Uruguay and Wales. So this is going to be, well, I don't think it's the toughest group of the lot. I think it's quite simple group for some, but tough for others. But yeah, let's go straight into the predictions. In 5th place in this group, I think this was pretty obvious, but in 5th place I am going to put Uruguay. Now, I don't exactly have that much to say about Uruguay, but they have got better. That's one thing that they have done. They have definitely got better from the 2015 tournament, where they got battered in every game. I think that they will do well, but they will do better in this one than in 2015 because they have got better. In 2015 they qualified through the repechage. This time they managed to beat Canada and make it through as America number 2 in the qualifying, so they managed to get into this group. Now, it's not a favourable group, we'll give them that. They've got 2 big tier 2 nations in Georgia and Fiji, and then they've got 2 big teams in Wales and Australia. I don't think that they will win any games, but I think that they will give it absolutely everything, and that's what we can expect from Uruguay. They will give it absolutely everything, just like they did in 2015, and they should be entertaining to watch. They should score a couple of tries. They do like to play on the attack. We saw that in 2015. They're an attacking team. Hopefully they'll score some tries. I don't think that there will be any sort of possibility of an upset. Maybe if they beat Georgia or Fiji, that could be an upset, but I don't see that happening. I just think Uruguay are not going to win any of the games. I think they'll just have a bit of a mediocre World Cup for them. But I think that they will be much more competitive than they were 4 years ago. And yeah, that's all I've really got to say about Uruguay. I think they've got better, but unfortunately it's going to be the same, and I think they're going to finish 5th again in this World Cup. Now, 4th in Pool D, this is going to be pretty tough actually. I've got it between 2 teams who I think will finish 4th in this group, but I think it will be Georgia. I think Georgia will finish 4th. Last time out in 2015, they had their best World Cup ever, finishing 3rd and automatically qualifying for this World Cup, but I don't think they're going to have as much luck this time around, and they're going to have to re-qualify for 2023. They do, of course, have brilliant players. I don't really know how to say many of their names, but they have that young scrum half who was the youngest ever player in a World Cup 4 years ago, and now he is older, he has matured more, and he was already good back then, so he will be even better now. Of course, their big second rower, Mamuka Gorgodze, has come out of retirement for the World Cup, just for the World Cup for Georgia. He can definitely give him much more go forward, and that will be a big old positive having him back in the dressing room, I can guarantee that. Such a big player, and he will help them all round the pitch as well. He will give everything on that pitch. But as much as I think that they do have good players, they have a good style of rugby. Of course, they base it around their forwards pack, they base it around the scrum, where they are absolutely dominant. I believe probably one of the best scrums in the World Cup. But again, I think its fitness is a big issue for Georgia, and I just don't think they're as good as the other 3 teams in this group. I think they're better than Uruguay. They will definitely beat Uruguay, but that game against Fiji will be the game for who finishes 3rd in this group, and I don't think they'll cut it. I think Fiji are just the better side. It's going to be a very close game, and they've got the defence, they've got the scrum, and they've got the power, which Fiji do have. But Fiji don't really have as much in scrum. They have more power in terms of backline and running through. But yeah, it's going to be entertaining to watch those 2 fight it off. Two completely different sides. So it's going to be entertaining to watch that. But I feel like Georgia will just miss out on that 3rd place. And I think that they will have a good tournament. Of course, they'll push Wales, they'll push Australia, they'll push Fiji. They'll beat Uruguay because they are a good team. They are a good team. They've just been drawn quite a tough draw here to have, especially Fiji in the group as well. But yeah, they will have a good tournament, I think. But for them, it won't be good because I think they'll finish 4th. If they do finish 4th, it won't be good for them. But yeah, I think they'll finish 4th based off that game against Fiji. I think Fiji will win that one and will beat them to 3rd. So yeah, put Georgia in 4th. And yeah, as I said, that means I think Fiji will finish 3rd in this group and will re-qualify for 2023. Now, 4 years ago, they were drawn the short straw 4 years ago when they were grouped in the pool of death with Australia, England and Wales, and ended up not re-qualifying. They finished 4th last time out 4 years ago. But you look at their group, no wonder they finished 4th in that one. And this year I expect him to go one better and finish 3rd. Brilliant players they've got in their team. They've got the likes of Josh Tuisova, who I think is a cracking player, and he will definitely score some tries for Fiji. They have other brilliant players. Their attack is brilliant. It's basically a bit like Japan's, where they can create something out of nothing. They've got the offloads, they've got the running rugby, they've got the power. It's just a merge of everything into their attack. And that's a good thing about Fiji. They can score tries. They're entertaining. They're one of the most entertaining teams in the world for me. And I just like watching their games just to see how they play and just to watch them, because it's just fun to watch. And I think they're in great shape as well coming into this. They came 2nd in the Pacific Nations. They did come 2nd in the Pacific Nations. They are somewhat on good form as well, so that is also good, and they are definitely better than they were 4 years ago, which is also a good thing. I think that they could provide a shock to Australia or Wales. They could beat them, but I just don't think they have the fitness. I think they will be very close though to pulling off a shock. I think Fiji can do it. They can, but I just feel like in my gut they're just not there yet. They're close to being a tier 1. Of course, they're in the top 10 in the rankings now. They're close to being a tier 1 side, but I just don't think they're there yet. They don't fully match the likes of Australia, the likes of Wales in their group, and therefore I don't think that they'll reach that par. But I do think they'll give it a good go. They'll, of course, give us great rugby to watch. All of their games will be absolutely fantastic to see, and it'll just be a spectacle. They're just a spectacle, Fiji. Brilliant try scorers, and I just can't wait to watch them play really. But yeah, I think they're going to finish 3rd in this group. But you never know. Maybe 4 years time when they could get even more better, and they could maybe push for the quarterfinals then. But unfortunately, this year I don't think they're going to make it. They'll be close to it, but I don't think they're going to make it. 3rd for Fiji. Now this is a tough one. Who's going to finish where? 2nd or 1st out of Wales and Australia. And I think Australia will finish 2nd in Pool D. I think they'll finish 2nd. And reason being is it's quite simple really. Australia just haven't been at the races. They had that one blistering result against the New Zealanders out of nowhere. Where did that come from the Aussies? We haven't seen that for a while, but other than that, they just haven't seemed that good. They just seem a bit lethargic. They don't seem themselves, and for me, I don't think they actually have a chance of winning the World Cup. They might be able to pull it out of the bag, but I don't think they're one of the favourites. I believe that they won't go that far in this tournament, and that's why that Fiji could push them close. I don't really know what the issues are with Australia. I know they had the issues with Israel Folau suing them and all that going on. That's not going to help at all. That's not going to help confidence. That's not going to help the flow of the team. So it could be that. And also players are also getting old, I think, for this Aussie side. And it's sort of a rebuilding phase. They'll go through this World Cup. They'll see what happens in this World Cup. And then I think after, it's going to be a rebuilding for the next 4 years. And I don't think Michael Cheika either will keep his job. I think he might leave at the end of the World Cup. I don't think he's been brilliant for Australia in the past couple of years. And yeah, I don't think he's going to stay for much longer. So it's probably going to be his last World Cup. And it's also going to be Michael Pocock's last World Cup as well. David Pocock, I mean, not Michael. It's going to be David Pocock's last World Cup, last few games for Australia. Of course, they'll want to send him off on a high. I think they'll get to the quarters, but that's not a high for Australia. High for Australia would be winning the World Cup, but I don't think they're going to do that. Of course, brilliant players, as I said, David Pocock, Michael Hooper, two brilliant players, brilliant at rucking over the ball. That's where the game's based at, that ruck, pulling out the ball, and they could do brilliant there. And Bernard Foley, if he plays at 10, he can produce stuff now and again. He can produce a bit of magic. But I feel like Australia are just lacking. They're just lacking a bit of oomph at the moment. They're not showing themselves to be a favourite. They're not showing themselves to be a contender. And I don't think they're going into this World Cup with masses of confidence. I think that New Zealand game would have boosted them, but then getting thumped the week after would have just put them where they were and back to square zero. And yeah, for me, Australia, they'll get into the quarters, but I don't think it'll be an impressive World Cup display for them. And yeah, I'm going to put them in second. Now that means at the top of this group, I am going to be putting Wales. Now, Wales have gone on a bit of a stumble of late. They lost a double to Ireland. They lost their opening warm-up game to England. But you look back at the Six Nations, and yeah, they weren't a flashy side. They weren't scoring tries. If anything, they can't score tries. Sometimes they just score tries out of luck. But it's their defence. That's where they base their game off. And it's an absolutely outstanding defence. In that Six Nations, they scored the lowest amount of tries, but they also conceded the lowest amount of tries as well, which shows how good their defence is. But it also worries you that they're going to have to make sure that they don't concede many tries like they have in the warm-up games, because if they're going to struggle to score tries, then if they concede them, they might not be able to get it back. They don't have that flair to bring it back. Of course, they've got good backs. They've got the likes of Josh Adams. They've got Jonathan Davis, who can create play. But I don't think they have enough flair to score enough tries to win games. So they won't base their game off scoring more than the other team. They'll base it off making sure the other team doesn't score. And I think they can do that. If they play the way they did in the Six Nations, of course, they have a chance of winning this World Cup. Yeah, they don't have the attack. They don't have the flair, and they're not an exciting team to watch. But they have that defence, and sometimes defence wins you games. If you can stop the opponents scoring tries like Wales did in the Six Nations, then you can win the game. Can make sure that they give away a couple of penalties, score a try yourself, and keep your defence all locked up like Wales do, and there, you've won the game. And that's what Wales base their game off, really. And it's not flashy, as I say, but it's a really effective way of winning, and it really works for Wales. And I also think that the players they have suit the defensive mould. They suit the rucking mould. You've got Captain Alan Wynne-Jones, an absolute warhorse, never stops. He just carries on going, just puts his body on the line for his team. I remember the game against Ireland where he was injured and he still carried on playing. And they also have players like Josh Navidi, brilliant over the ball, and a young starlet coming up, Aaron Wainwright, who I think will be another youngster who will just burst onto the scene in this World Cup. He's been brilliant in the warm-ups, probably their best player. And they have these brilliant forwards at defending and rucking over as well. They've just got that good squad coherency in the forwards, and also in their backs. They know how to defend. And because they've got this squad coherency in the defence, and they know what they're doing, they know what their jobs are, they know how to push up, they know how to cause the team issues in defence. It's what stops the other team scoring tries. And for me, Wales just have it for them. They have that good defence that can help them win games. And yeah, I think they can. They can win games, and I think they will win all their games. They might be close against Australia, but I still think they'll win it. And yeah, but sometimes you can just base too much on defence. That could be an issue for Wales if they just sit back way too much. They could be allowing attack on attack on attack. But I think this defence can soak it up, and they've got the attack to score 1 or 2 tries per game, and I feel like Wales will have it in the bag to top this group thanks to their brilliant defence and that little bit of flair they have in attack. So yeah, I'm putting Wales at the top of Pool D. So they are my Pool D predictions. Please put your comments down below on what you think on my predictions and what your predictions are for this group. And after the World Cup pool stages, I will be doing a knockout prediction. So I will probably be doing the quarter-final predictions, then semi-final, then final, but in separate videos. So yeah, I'll do that after the pool stages. But for now, thanks for watching. Give a like, give a subscribe. Thanks for watching. See you in a bit.